Hello, Wanda and Katie here on Collaboration Day, and we're going to talk about some things you can do with the new swipes that you've made. After they've dried for about a week, you want to make sure that your paint is very, very dry. You can add words or images, and today I'm going to work with a stencil. And I'm not going to be using the traditional black color. I am going to use Aqua Flash Color Shift by Folk Art. Okay, for me, I'm going to use a little tape to secure my stencil. And I got this stencil on Amazon. It came in a big pack of stencils, and I will link the package in the description so you know where to find it. And they are very big stencils. They're big sheets, and they have lots of different things on them. So they're for big rocks, bigger size rocks. Anyways, you can see where I cut it out. You don't have to cut it out, but for me it's easier. I'm not great at stenciling, so we will do this together. So I'm going to use a paper plate, and I'm just going to pour off some paint, or squeeze some paint. That's so beautiful. And this is a makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 for $1. And when you stencil, you don't want a lot of paint. Now the color shift is going to be sheer, so you're not really going to see much of it except for the shift. So you don't want to press too hard because you don't want that paint to transfer underneath your stencil. When you're done patting in your paint, you'll remove your stencil, and then you can either paint over it, foil over it, use some glitter to embellish, add some rhinestones, or leave it as is. I think it's going to be quite pretty with just the flash, the color shift. Alright, here's the reveal. Actually, see another little spot there. Remove the stencil. And I'm going to shift it so you could see. There's our beautiful octopus. I mean jellyfish. Hey, they both have tentacles. Give me a break. It's Wanda here. You guys know me. Alright, so I am going to add some foil to this and make it interesting, but I have to let it dry first, so I'll be back with you in a moment. Alright, while our jellyfish is drying, I'm going to attempt a fancy dancing disco girl. I'm going to use black. I'm also going to tape her to the rock. Alright, I mean Katie's going to do this one.
All right. Hello, hello. So, okay, for this girl, I'm going to be using some Createx airbrush paint. You don't necessarily have to have this, but what I like about it is it's super thin. Now, it's going to go on not real dark like a regular acrylic paint, but you can go back and color her in with a brush, but this just works better for me. So I'm going to use the same sponge we used on the jellyfish, and see how it's a much thinner paint. But then when you go in and pat the stencil in, it's a much nicer, smoother job than just using acrylic. It gives it a nice airbrushed effect. And then if you want it darker, like I said, you can just go in and paint it darker. But this just gets your outline in. And it dries super quick. That's another cool thing about it. I use this Createx airbrush paint to line. It's one of my favorite liners. And I just really, really like how nice and smooth it is and just glides as opposed to the acrylics. Okay, I'm going to let this sit for just a second. Okay, I've let this sit a minute and kind of dry. And I'm going to go ahead and lift this up. Let's see. So she has a little bit of an area here that kind of bled a bit, but I think we can re-outline that and fix that, no problem. Oh, and we're going to give her the rest of her arm over here. Let me get some more paint. I'm over at Wanda's, and so I'm not used to some of her tools here, so bear with me. If you have trouble drawing, these stencils are definitely the way to go. It at least gives you a base to work with. We're going to give her a little bit more junk in the trunk. There we go. And this is really just our base because we're going to foil. You wouldn't think we would just do paint, would you? I'm going to bring her leg out just a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now let's fix her arm here so she doesn't look like a zombie. My husband has a Betty Page zombie tattoo, and this arm that was all wonky at first kind of reminded me of her. It's pretty cool. Okay. I'm gonna fix this arm just a bit. think that looks pretty good. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry thoroughly before we get to foiling.
Okay, so Wanda here, I'm going to foil the jellyfish with some crackle foil. The ever obscure crackle foil, which can now be found in this lovely kit on Amazon. I will put the link in the description. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to do that on our jellyfish. I'm going to cut off a section to make it easier to control. Alright, I have poured Mac Art nail art foil glue into my dish. And this is just a paint palette. They come in a pack of 6 from Dollar Tree. Using a disposable eyeliner brush to add the glue to my jellyfish. You can also use SXC nail art foil glue. I do recommend either one of those. SXC is a bit less expensive. It does have more of an odor. That's the only drawback, which is huge for some who get headaches. I do sometimes. It bothers me. Alright, so I'm going to stay right at the edge of our jellyfish and just try to stay on top of the color shift and add the glue on the entire bell, the top bell part. And then you're going to cure that for 1 cycle with the 6-watt Mac Art mini light. This guy usually has the Mac Art symbol there, but I have rubbed it off over the time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this in and then cure, and I'll be back to show you the foil application. Alright, I've applied the glue to the bell of our jellyfish. I'm going to use the torch very lightly to get the bubbles out. Now I'm going to cure it for 1 cycle. Mac Art 6-watt mini light. Alright, that has cured. Going to apply our, whoops, got a little wrinkle there. That's okay, not the end of the world. Mother Nature's not perfect either. Even jellyfish get wrinkles. Right, I'm using a Q-tip, or if you have a silicone tip nail tool, awesome. Those work fabulous. I just keep breaking mine. So I'm heavy-handed. Anyways, you can use your silicone tool to go around the edges. Just want to make sure you have a nice solid transfer. And remove your foil slowly so you can see if any bits are not laying down. And then if you see that, push it back down and rub it back into the glue. Oh, that's so pretty. Gorgeous. Okay, I have added the glue to the tentacles. I'm going to cure that for 1 cycle, 60 seconds, and I'm going to be using this foil here. It's like a, I call it laser. It's a, I don't know how to explain that other than like a laser, like that. Okay, that cycle is done. Okay, gotta make sure the right side goes down. Okay. it's hard to see which part of the foil has been used, but be very careful to not put a part of the foil that has been used on the tacky part of the glue, because you can tear your image right off of your rock. Well, that looks beautiful. And there is our jellyfish. So to do the water bubbles, I'm going to use a flat rod dotting tool and dip it in my glue like so, and then add that onto the top of the bubble. Like so, and then I'm going to get a smaller rod to do these over here and cure those for 1 cycle, and I'll be back with you to show you the foil. Okay, the bubbles have been cured. They are ready to be foiled, and I have cut off a strip of, I call this a oil spill or gasoline. You know, when you get mixed oil and water and you get that random, it's really not coming through on the video there. I don't know why. Anyway, so we'll put it on here and see if we can get it to show up. Make sure you have the right side down. And just add it to the top of your water bubbles. And voila. Okay, I'm going to do a little outline around the jellyfish. You guys, I don't know why I'm having a block with the word jellyfish. Some Freudian expert chime in, tell me, what is my block? Okay, that is Cobalt Hue, Folk Art Matte Finish, Color Shift, Gloss Finish, Aqua Flash. I'm just swirling, okay? Not really doing a mix, just a swirl. And the idea is between the tentacles, I did one here practice, just to give that, you know, those long bits that jellyfish have that look like tangled up strings. Yeah, like that. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm just, no real rules here, just taking it and then squiggle, 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 squiggle. Like my eraser. That only works because the paint that we used here is a multi-surface, so it's nice and kind of semi-gloss. So you can just wipe off your boo-boos. All right, I'm going to take this also and line a bit of the jellyfish so we can see it. I'm kind of letting it trail off as I pull the brush down so it's not a hard line all the way down. Okay, and I'm going to go around the bell also. You know how jellyfish kind of have that, I don't know what that is at the top, but it's like a deeper, darker area. I'm going to sort of put that in there. And they also have these lines coming down to each of these, like so. Now we have one really cool looking jellyfish. Transparent, yet really cool. You can do like one edge of your bubbles to give it a little more definition. And when you're done with that, you can take your white jelly pen let's see. We'll see if this will work. Sometimes my jelly pen works, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm just thinking of a couple little to give our bubbles some bubble look. So basically I'm just smudging the white at the bottom of the bubble and then doing a dot around the top and kind of smudging that too a bit. Like that. Whoop. What did I smear? And now we have some bubbles and a jellyfish. Maybe we should do a little bit of highlighting here on our jellyfish too. And I'm going right on top of the foil. I like it. Just a little bit. All right, I'm going to call that good. Now, hello, so I'm going back, I've gone back over to this stone, poured stone from the mold that Katie did. I did the swipe and Katie did the stencil. And I'm going to do a full transfer, one disco ball foil. It won't be in one go, it might be in two, but I'm going to try to do it where there's just one line right there up the center, like so. So maybe I can do it without too much of a line. Oop, yeah, so it'll be kind of like right about in there. We shall see. Like that. And then the line will go up like so. So I'm going to cut off a couple of pieces of this foil. Make it easier to control. I call it disco ball foil because it looks like a disco ball. And this little lady looks like a disco dancing hot mama. Woo woo. All right, so you guys know the drill. I'm going to put glue all over her. And then I'm going to foil it. And because I need this to be in one long strip of foil, it's going to be tricky. I'm going to add the glue everywhere. And then I am going to cure it in sections. And then put the foil on in 2 strips. We will see how good I am. Okay, so was I even in camera? Well, there's the start. So what I'm doing is just adding glue to the black stencil part, all of it, and I'm trying to stay exact inside of the lines. And if I go outside, trying to at least pull the pattern back together with something close. Okay. So when I'm done with this and curing, I will be back for the foil. I will share that with you. Okay, glue is all over everywhere. I am going to cure this in 2 cycles, separate it, maybe 3. Okay, cured. Oh, now we're going to test my foiling skills. Let's see here. So I want to make sure I lay this down in one go, as much coverage as possible. And I missed the elbow. Lord have mercy. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab it with this Okay, there. See this little piece that came focus? You probably can't see that, but that little tiny strip I caught on the elbow there. Okay, I'm going to grab a Q-tip. Been having better luck with the Q-tip than the silicone tip nail tools lately. They've been falling apart, so I've switched over to Q-tips pretty much. But don't be afraid to use your tool if you have it, or buy several, because they do come in handy. I am making sure the edges are really, really good. I want to make sure that I get a good transfer. Except for this edge, don't rub too close to it. Don't take it off yet. Okay. Now put your other foil on. Oh, it looks like I might have to do it in 3 goes. Overlap this one just a bit. Cut it off there. Okay, this section here, I'm going to catch this piece, and I have this little piece of hand here, so I'm going to cut off a section of this piece of foil and grab the, look at that static. Did you see that? See it pull off the rock? Crazy. Lay down there. Okay. Okay guys, let's do this. We're going to take it off from this side over in the layers, kind of how we put it on. And you're going to lift ever so slowly, so that if you're missing pieces, you can lay it right back down. Awesome. Okay, let's check this one. Good. This one. Nope, see the spots that it missed? It's probably hard to see up there, but let me show you. See? Okay, so drop it back down before you take it all off and press in those spots. Come on, don't be temperamental, foil. This is the hard part about working with metallic foil. Okay, got it. Nice. Okay, keep going. Slowly. Oh, we missed a piece on the knee. Okay, time for this one. Slowly. Okay. So we do have some seam issues here, but it's not awful bad. It's not too awful bad. It looks pretty good. So now I'm going to do some relining. I'm going to use Posca 1MR with a nice tip on it. And very carefully line around her. Okay, so I took the Posca and lined around our girl. And voila. We have one disco dancing hottie. With lots of junk in the trunk, as Katie would say. Alright, these are just some ideas on how to use up some of that foil that you may not be using. You don't know what to do with. You know, some ideas on how to use some stencils. You can use these swipe rocks and add a word, add a statement, you know, put someone's name on it, give it as a gift. I think they're really beautiful and pretty cool way to make a new kind of background. Anyways, if you liked what you saw here today, pretty please go hit that subscribe. And also give us a like and tell your friends so that we can all grow together and have more content for you. Also, if you want to know when we're uploading, hit the bell so YouTube will notify you when we're uploading new content. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.